One thing that fascinated me just right now is I searched two terms in Google Ngram Viewer. One is aura and the other is Donald Trump. Now, people would think that Donald Trump, the term, the word, the phrase Donald Trump is more popular than the word aura is. But no, aura has been popular since the 1800 and it is the most popular, one of the most popular words in 2025 as well, even more popular than Donald Trump. Everyone in this world knows about Donald Trump, and the word aura is even more popular than Donald Trump. Everyone is interested in aura. And aura, you can actually change your aura. If you actually attempt to fix your aura, your panic attacks will vanish away. Now, you might object to this claim by saying, well, you cannot measure aura. If you cannot measure aura, how are you going to fix your aura? And I would say you are correct. But still, every person can sense that whenever a person who is light in his energy, who is cheerful, has a certain pleasant aura around him, and every one of us can sense that whenever a person who has a very heaviness of his energy, who is filled with sadness and misery, has a different smell to the aura around him. Now you can become a person who has a very pleasant aura by the help of meditation. Now, if you are a average person, you are going to think of an image where a Buddhist monk is sitting up in the Himalayas doing all sorts of hand mudras and chanting some mantra whenever I say the word meditation. But the phrase meditation means to become familiar with. If you can be more familiar with a version of yourself who no longer has panic attacks and who is living his best life, and you are becoming less familiar with the version of yourself who has panic attacks and who is severely restricted in his life due to such mental affliction, then you are actually meditating correctly. You are becoming familiar with the version of yourself that you want to embody. That is what meditation means. Now, I would say the term meditation very closely resembles the term dharana in yogic terms, in yogic culture. Dhyan means a non-critical observation of your content of mind until you achieve a state of transcendence. That is dhyan. But dharana means to use your attention in such a way that whatever you have in your mind, a word, an idea, an object of focus gets expanded. Can you understand me? What I mean is, if you can use your attention and focus on a particular word, or focus on a particular idea, or focus on a particular image, that is dharana. That is what meditation means in English language. So right now, I am going to talk to you about how the wise use of practice of dharana will actually improve the aura around you and actually completely eliminate panic attacks out of your life. So before actually doing the practice of dharana, you need to become familiar with the concept of yoga nidra. People like Dr. Andrew Huberman have been calling yoga nidra as non-sleep deep rest protocol. It is a way where you use your awareness or your attention on your body parts one by one until you achieve a state of relaxation or a sort of sleepiness. When you do yoga nidra properly, your brain will start to produce slow, coherent alpha waves, which is going to help you visualize things very easily. And also, your brain will produce theta waves, which will help your subconscious mind to become very receptive to whatever you are going to do with your visualization. So, when you do yoga nidra properly, you are going to be able to imagine or create an imaginal act where you're freed from panic attacks and living your best life. And all of that imaginal act is going to get recorded in the subconscious mind, and you're actually going to become that person. So after you do yoga nidra, what you're going to imagine is, for example, you're waking up in the morning and you just have a big smile on your face and you're saying to yourself, wow, I no longer have racing thoughts in my head. Or you can imagine that you're dating a girl, you're kissing her, you're touching her hair, you're smelling her perfume, and she is saying to you things like, wow, you're so powerful and peaceful. Or you can imagine things like you are telling your friends and family, hey guys, you do not have to worry about me anymore. I'm completely okay. I have found the concept of dharana in order to heal my panic attacks. That is why I no longer go to therapy sessions and buy anxiety pills anymore. When you create all this imaginal act in your mind after you do yoga nidra, and you provide all the sensory vividness to such imaginal act, the things that you can see, hear, taste, feel, do, touch, then your brain will start to lose the differentiation between the imagined act and what an experience that you have in this three-dimensional world. Now, that imaginal act will go right into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is now programmed for you to have wonderful, amazing life circumstances. If you are able to feel the feelings out of this imaginal act, let's say you're imagining that you are now walking up into a room that previously triggered your panic attack, but now you're just taking charge in that room. You're cracking jokes, you're having a blast in that room, you have accumulated all your well-wishers in that room, and all of them are pleasantly surprised by how peaceful you are lately, and you can mentally rehearse this imaginal act. Then you're going to derive feelings of joy, gratitude, and empowerment from this imaginal act. Now, these feelings are what is going to change your aura. If there is a break in your aura, these feelings are going to fix that break in the aura, making your aura more complete and whole. These feelings are going to give you a sense of wholeness or a sense of fulfillment. Now, the more you're able to sustain these elevated emotions of joy, gratitude, empowerment, the more whole, the more complete, the more fulfilled you're going to feel. And one day, you are no longer going to remember your version of yourself who was afflicted with panic attacks. This is how the practice of yoga nidra and dharana is going to completely change your aura and fix your panic attacks. Now, the best way to do these practices is as soon as you wake up in the morning and before going to bed at night, because these two time windows are when your brain is naturally trying to create slow, coherent alpha waves and theta waves. So do this practice today as soon as you wake up in the morning, or today as you go to bed at night. Sometimes it might just take one meditation in order to completely change your life. But it took me 5 months because, come on, if it takes you 1 year or 2 year or 3 year of constant stress, constant trauma, constant frustration, competition, anger, resentment in order to gain panic attacks, you cannot expect your panic attacks to magically vanish in one day. Some people have done it, and great for them, but have a realistic expectation of this practice, and soon you're going to fix all of your mental health issues. Now, if you want one-to-one personalized coaching from me, then message me on my Gmail or my WhatsApp, which are linked in the description box down below and the pinned comment section down below as well. Subscribe, and I will see you in the next time.